Seems to be a total lack of comprehension on this panel, and indeed amongst this audience, which is a remarkable audience, even by the left-wing standards of the BBC. I mean, this lot's pretty left-wing.
Hang on a second.
But very interesting.
Hang on a second.
When you talk
Nigel,
about
let me
housing,
just say one thing.
Yeah.
This is an audience that has been carefully chosen, not
Very
by the
carefully.
BBC, not by the BBC,
Yes.
but by an independent polling organisation to represent the balance between all parties.
It's never a great idea.
Very good.
Very
good. Very good.
Anyway, carry on.
I think it's very interesting.
It's never a great idea to attack the audience,
discuss,
Nigel, in my
discuss.
opinion.
No, the real audience are sitting at home, actually. You cannot discuss.
Hang on.
That's
Let him
fine.
have his say.
No, that's fine.
Go on.
Remarkable. We are talking about a market, folks. I know none of you have ever worked in business, but we're talking about a market. And markets are about demand and supply. And I just wonder, I'm curious, could I get any recognition from any of you that the demand side of this equation is that a rapidly rising population due to open-door immigration, started by Ed Miliband's Labour Party in the late 1990s, has directly contributed towards the housing crisis? Is there any flicker of recognition from any of you? Please, one of you have a go. Foreign doctors and nurses that work in this country is not the point. It does make me, of course, ask the question why we're not training more of our own nurses, but isn't the point. The point is that health tourism to this country costs us a very great deal of money. People in government have to make tough choices. And if the choice is that we increasingly say to people, particularly older people, we cannot treat you for breast cancer, we cannot treat you for prostate cancer, we haven't got the money, whilst at the same time we allow people to fly into Britain who have got no link with this country and contributed nothing to this system, but we're prepared to give them the drugs for being HIV positive. You then get yourself to a situation where you ask yourself a sane question. Is the job of the National Health Service to look after people here, or is it to be an international health service? And I can assure you, whatever you may think on this panel, the vast majority of British people want this to be a national health service.
David,
Here's the problem I have with you, Nigel, is you want to exploit people's fears rather than address them. And that is the problem with what you say on so many of these issues. I mean, look, you know, you want to end all...
The question this country faces is whether it's an independent, self-governing nation or not. And it's interesting to note that even the nationalists believe in being members of the EU, therefore they don't actually believe in true independence. We can't be an independent state and be part of a European Union. My view is we should be outside of that. My view is we should govern ourselves. My view is we should be self-confident and reach out to the world. So for me, if UKIP is in a position of influence in the next Parliament, we would want the British people to have a full, free and fair referendum so they can decide whether we have a trade deal with the EU or continued membership of the European Union. And it's a mystery to me that the Labour Party, which used to be the party that actually believed that the EU would be bad for Britain, now won't even give the British people a referendum. I'm astonished by that, but that's what I believe is the most important thing UKIP in Parliament could fight for.
Nicola